Hi, everybody. Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. And tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast, we're still dealing with rounds of showers and a few downpours. And in between those, we've got partly to mostly sunny skies. We've also got rain in parts of the uh, Gulf states, the Tennessee Valley, and in the Southeast. We'll be talking all about that. And the weekend and the long range tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time. Not a whole lot happening across the United States. We've got nothing much at all happening east of the Mississippi, as far as watches and warnings are concerned. We've got a little action there in parts of interior Texas, interior South Texas, where we have flood advisories and flash flood warnings there. And we've got areas of excessive heat and heat advisories up in parts of the West. But other than that, it's a fairly quiet pattern overall. We do have a moisture feed coming up from the southwest, and you can see on the satellite loop how these clouds are indeed moving from southwest to northeast. The first wave went through late yesterday and last night. That is now moving through New England. There's a bit of a break in between, and then we've got more clouds and some more showers developing in parts of the Tennessee Valley. And you see it here across Tennessee into southern Kentucky. That's destined to probably get in sometime tonight into the first part of Wednesday. At the moment, we don't see anything especially heavy. There are some heavier downpours in the yellow and red echoes, the occasional severe thunderstorm warning that pops up, and that's about it. It's a little more active back through Texas from northeast Texas southwestward, and you can see this concentration of flash flood warnings that are up to the northwest of San Antonio. Also, some showery rains along the Texas Gulf Coast, as well as the southern parts of Louisiana. Some heavy rains going on there. The western part of the United States is very quiet. Storm Prediction Center today has a marginal risk for isolated severe thunderstorms from eastern Virginia and a small portion of southern Maryland, south and west into central and western North Carolina to the South Carolina line. General thunderstorm activity is forecast for just about everybody else except for these dry pockets in the plains and up and down the west coast of the United States. Now, tomorrow, severe weather is kind of taking a bit of a backseat. The marginal risk from northern Ohio, northeast into northwest Pennsylvania, and upstate New York, specifically western New York and central New York State, where there could be some isolated severe thunderstorms there. There's an approaching cold front. And as at the moment, for Thursday, we don't have any severe weather risk being indicated, although I think it's not impossible that we could see a small area of marginal risk getting thrown up there. Rainfall in the Northeast, it's a half to three quarters in upstate New York and northern New England. It's a quarter to a half as you go further south. And being that it's convective, you could always wind up with some localized heavier amounts. The heavier rain from southeast Virginia down through the Carolinas and Georgia, an inch and a half to some 3 inches plus. And this is on top of rain that's already fallen in the last several days. We also have heavy rains being indicated of 5 to 7 inches or more along the Texas coast and back into inland areas. Up to several inches could fall there. And WPC does have a marginal risk for flash flooding in the Northeast down into the mid-Atlantic states, a slight risk in southern Virginia into North Carolina, a small portion of northern South Carolina, as well as south central Mississippi, southwestward down into Texas. That's through tomorrow morning. The day side tomorrow, again, a marginal risk because you never know, you can get this little cluster of heavy thunderstorms that winds up forming overhead and dumping rain on you. So we've got a marginal risk from southeast and southern New England southwestward through the Carolinas and Georgia, picks up to a slight risk in South Carolina, back across central Georgia into east central Alabama, and also again in south and southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana. We also have marginal risks in the southwest as well as the southern areas of the Great Lakes. And then for day three, which is Thursday into Friday, we're back again to that marginal risk from Maine all the way down to Georgia and then west back into Texas with the slight risk areas indicated southeast Virginia to eastern Georgia and southwest Louisiana down into coastal Texas. So it's really about the southwest flow and this tropical moisture that's coming up in waves, and that's going to pretty much continue. The next wave moves through tonight into the first part of Wednesday, a short break, And then we've got a cold front that's going to be coming through that perhaps will set off some showers and thunderstorms later in the day, Thursday into Thursday night. This will be followed by dry air. There's a nice high that's going to be coming down in from the Great Lakes into the Northeast for Friday, Saturday, and for Sunday. The air in this high is not especially cool. It's actually going to wind up being warmer, probably behind the front than ahead of it, because of the fact that you're going to have uh, much more in the way of sunshine, and the humidity levels should be contained, I think, into Sunday, and it might even linger a bit into Monday. Then early next week, as the flow goes more west southwest and the high goes to the south, we could be setting up for some hotter temperatures for the first part of next week. So all of that will be discussed in detail tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. We'll take a look at the tropics as well, and that's at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time.